You've been steel mace training for a little while and you're starting to get used to the weight you've been working with. You're probably asking yourself, what weight do you move up to next? And we're going to work through where you should be starting from anyway, what weight you should be going to next for complex training, for flow training, and some of the implications for traditional swings. Steel mace ends up being a lot heavier than most people think. So if you're used to the gym, you're already pretty fit, whatever, you're probably going to think, oh yeah, I can just pick up a 5k mace and it's only 5 kilo. Let's go heavier. And a lot of people get humbled very quickly. Difference being, you're not holding 5k close. You're holding 5k out at distance, so you've got leverage extra to contend with. So usually people get humbled very quickly and need to start a little bit lower, but we've got a separate video on that. So generally speaking, very, very quickly, if you are just starting with mace, it's a guideline that most males should go somewhere between 4, 5, maybe 6 kilo at a push, depending on what style you're going for. Ladies should be going for around 3 to 5 kilo, again, depending on experience and what style you want to go for, if you know what style you want to go for that early. But So let's go into what kind of weights you want to go for with complex training. So complex training is largely doing a particular movement on repeat for a certain amount of time. It's a bit like circuit training or HIIT training, or even more traditional stuff like you start to do overhead presses and bent over rows and bicep curls. They're very standard, or more standard type exercises, as standard as you can get really for a very unconventional steel mace tool. Now, because it is more similar to conventional training, we can look at conventional training FIT principles. So fitness, intensity, time, and type. Now, a lot of complex training, we don't actually use a lot of leverage. So if you have the weight of the mace at one end, there's not a lot of leverage between the weight and your pivot point being your hand. Usually, okay, there are some things where you might want to do like bicep curls with a bit of torque going on. However, if you're doing bicep curls for like bicep growth, you're probably better off just going on the dumbbells anyway. It feels harder, but it's not really actually any more stimulus. But that's another thing. I've got an entire blog post on steel mace for hypertrophy and how it's probably not the best thing to do. Otherwise, complex training, you're probably more doing it for fitness, for cardiovascular. We can look at FIT principles. So first one is frequency. So if you've only got one weight, you can increase the load, increase the stimulus by just doing more frequency during the week. So if you only do one a week, do it twice a week, that kind of thing. You don't have to go up in weight, but you are going up overall in stimulus. You can go for time. Notice I missed the I out here. You can just go for time. So instead of doing a 40-second set, you can do a 50-second set. Instead of doing a 40-minute workout, you can do an hour-long workout, that kind of thing. You can even do reverse time by reducing the rest. Instead of having, I don't know, a 30-second rest between exercises, you have a 20-second rest, and so on and so forth. They're ways of making the exercise harder without necessarily having to increase the weight. There is also type. So a simple one here is you could go for something like rack squats, okay? That's putting your load plus the weight of the mace across both legs. Now what you could do is do say something more like Stormbreaker lunges. You're changing the type of exercise by applying more load to a single leg. And of course you have to do it on the other side as well, which might take a little bit more time. Now for the actual I, intensity, that's where you just want to increase the weight or increase the exertion. Now it's very difficult to measure exertion because it depends on what your emotions are that day, how well you've slept, blah, blah, blah. Probably best to just go for the weight. And like I said, because it's very similar to conventional training, you just want to go up the next increment. And most of the time, That's usually anywhere between 1 to 2 kilos per exercise. So if you are a bit more used to conventional gym training, you know, take your bench press, you're probably not going up any more than 5 kilo in any one go. That's 2.5 kilo per arm. So because it's all very unilateral work, you only want to go up maybe 2 kilo jumps at most per time with complex training. Now, flow work is a little bit different because you've got more leverage going on and more skill involved, and likewise more rotation through the mace. That means that balance and skill are probably more important than weight. Like the 5 kilo mace, some weight's in the head and some weight is in the handle. So that puts the balance point roughly about there. So maybe a foot or so down the handle of the mace. And that gives you ability to grip further up, and the center of gravity is past your hand to allow the rotation to happen. The mace tail wants to drop. Likewise, when we want to do another exercise, we can feel that rotation working with us. I'm demonstrating on a 10 here, just because it's a bit more obvious. Usually, with most mace, the weight in the head just increases and the handle stays the same. And we see here that the balance point is a couple of inches further up, which gives you less room for your hand to fit. Now, okay, there is a little bit here on the 10. I could do the swing and a rotation, but one, the sheer weight of it in that awkward position makes it difficult, and it's not the gift that keeps on giving. When you go up even higher weights, so you go 12, 15, whatever, that distance is going to get even less. And in some cases, when you get onto weird objects like the hammer, the balance point is inside there, inside the head. I can't get my hand around there and I can't get my hand over it to allow for rotation. So it's not really going to work very well with big things and awkward shaped objects. So my recommendation for increasing the weight in flow is don't. Simple as that. Increase your flow difficulty by other means. Go for more skillful flows, more complex exercises, longer flows. Try and hit things like that. And I treat flow more like cardio exercise. So like a run, if you want to get better at running, you go faster, you go further, okay? Same with Mace Flow. You can play around with tempo. You go faster, you can go for longer, you can do flows for more minutes or whatever. Like a run, generally, I know some people do, but it's not really a advised way, is you don't get faster at running by putting a weights vest on and go for a run. You get faster by other means. Same with Mace Flow, you go for the same weight and go further or more complicated instead. That's a really simple kind of what weight do you want next to Mace Flow? Yeah, don't, basically. Now then, traditional swings are probably what most people are here for, because this is the most iconic exercise that there is to Steel Mace, and probably what the whole thing revolved around is doing the 360s and 10 and 2s. All the math and whatnot, we've got a blog post for it, and I was helped out by Alex from Magic Macebells here for all the numbers. So if you want to see all them, go to the blog post, it's all there. But the short version is, if I was to say what's the weight difference between a 7 kilogram and a 10 kilogram, you're probably going to say 3. And that's not much more than the difference in conventional training, like I used the bench press example of only about 2.5 kilo per arm. However, these weights at the end of long levers, these weights have been accelerated with gravity as they fall down. So the actual force you have to resist is a lot more than the weight itself. For example, when the 7 kilo is at peak velocity, so when it's at the bottom, the strongest pull, thanks to Alex, we worked this out, the mace is exerting about 23 kilograms of downward force. The weight of the mace itself, plus the force it's providing due to the acceleration of gravity and a bit more, because you're helping it down a bit, you're actually swinging it a little bit. 23 kilo. That's why mace humbles a lot of people. So they think, oh yeah, I can do this, and then suddenly it's 23 kilos pulling you down, right? Granted, it is only for a brief period, it is only at the peak force, but it is a lot of weight, and it's also probably at your most awkward point to hold that. When it's up here, it's swinging. When it's going up the other way, momentum's taking it up and relieving the pressure a bit. So if you said, all right, put 10 kilo in my hand, does that make it 26 kilo? No, because it's a multiplier, not an addition. So the 10 kilo peak force is more like 34 kilograms. So that's an 11 kilo jump for 3 kilos marked on the end of the handle, right? It is a very big jump, which I feel is particularly quite a bit harder. Now, of course, that is tricky because most mace brands don't sell the mace in small increments like that. So you're going to have to just suck up the jump, but it certainly means you don't want to be skipping a mace out. So for example, these Wolverson mace, they go from, I think it goes 5, 7, 10, 12, 15, something like that. So it certainly wouldn't want to go from a 7 straight to a 12. It's already a big jump from 7 to 10. It's a humongous jump from 7 to 12. That is largely where an adjustable mace would come in, because you can add smaller plates and smaller increments to it and make those steps closer together. So like having a ladder with small rungs, it's more of an easy climb. If you have huge rungs between your ladder, it's a much more difficult climb. You can go for the specialized Olympic lifting ones and get like a ½ kilo plate, add that on, and it's a much smaller peak force swing than jumping 3 kilos and end up being 11 kilo peak force swing difference. So now we know kind of the implications of the weight from a traditional swing. You might want to know when is the right time, because there is such a big jump. Steel mace traditional swings is a lot about repetition. It's a small, brief bit of power. You're not under tension for a whole lot of time. There's two general consensuses out there about what you can do. So one is kind of like a rep range. You are not considered to be able to swing a certain weight of mace until you can do 10 swings in each direction with reasonable control. If you can't do 10, it's kind of considered you can't do that weight. Depending on who you speak to, if you go probably more the traditional like Indian heritage, it might be a case of, look, if you can swing it once and stay on your feet, you've done it. But more conventional levels of, you're looking at 10 reps minimum. Up to 100 reps, so about 50 swings per side. If you can do about 100 swings in total, you're probably ready for the next weight up. And even if you're not quite ready for the next weight up, you can always choke up the mace to reduce that leverage, which will reduce the peak force. Now that is bearing in mind that you get the same length mace, because a different length mace is going to have different properties. Going back to the hammer is much shorter than my normal mace, but the handle is quite somewhat thicker. And the big blocky bit on the end of the mace means I also have to factor in twist on the axis as well as swing side to side. So the 360 with a hammer is just a little bit awkward because it has some slightly different characteristics and properties. The other system to be able to know when you're ready to go up in weight is when you can do a single arm swing. Generally speaking, once you can do a single arm swing, in theory, you can do double that weight with both hands on the mace. In theory. I say theory because your core still takes the same load. So a 10 kilo mace swinging with a 34 kilo peak force, your core still has to resist 34 kilo peak going backwards and down, regardless if you do it with one hand or two. It's still 34 going through the core. Yes, the arm itself then doesn't take half that weight. It's got to take all 34 through one arm rather than halving. So I'm crap at math, 15, 17 kilo through each arm. It's whole 30 odd. But the core still takes the same. So it's a general rule, but don't rely on it too much that you can do double the weight of a single arm swing. And remember, we said the minimum is 10. So if you can't do 10 single arm swings, you definitely can't do double weight with both arms. You've got to make sure you do at least 10 before you go on. So hopefully that's largely answered your questions. That complex, just go up the next increment available because it is very close to the true weight difference. So a 7 to a 10 is very close to the actual 3 kilo jump that you will. Flow, my suggestion is don't go up a weight, make it harder in other ways. Traditional swings, go up the smallest increment you have available to you, because even then the small increments are big jumps in peak force. So before I sign off, I do want to say thank you to Alex from Magic Macebells for helping me out with the numbers. Kind of know the numbers, but trying to put them into words for you is tricky. He's helped me out there. And he knows his stuff. He makes adjustable mace for a living. He has now sponsored, I think, 2 mace competitions. Alex, if you're out there watching this, do correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but do let me know. I think 2, because he manages to standardize his mace for all the competitors, so they're all swinging the same thing. So you haven't got different grip lengths and grip thicknesses to go mind. And likewise, because a small weight can be a massive difference, you don't want the variance between maces to be very big. He can make them fairly accurate, hence why he can sponsor a few competitions. So that kind of shows for the quality of mace that Alex can make. Now, if there's anything I've missed, either check out the blog and I may have covered it there, and or whack it down in the comments and I'll do my best to answer you as accurately as I can. You're exerting about 20